I have to get rid of my face because my internet's unstable.
We are live streaming, Councillor Westgate.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. If anybody has a conflict of interest, to declare it at the proper time. Can we have approval of the previous minutes? Does anybody?
I move we approve the previous.
Dave?
Yep.
Colin? All in favor?
Yep.
I can't see you here, John.
He's hiding.
Our first application, number B0321. Take notice that application has been made by Watford Investment Group Incorporated. Agent Brad Blaine, owner of Plan 1, Lots 3, 5, Part Lot 6, Plan 2, Part Lots 73 and 78, and RP 25R 3798, Part 1, RP 25R 4047, Part 1, expand plan L9 65539, Parts 1 and 2, municipality known as 5270-5280 Nauvoo Road, Township of Warwick, to sever the property into 3 commercial parcels. And further take notice that the Land Division Committee of the Township of Warwick has appointed Tuesday, May 4th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. for the purpose of a public hearing into the matter. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, the meeting will be held electronically by Zoom teleconference. Can I ask the secretary to read the dates and places of notice of public meeting?
Notices were sent by regular mail and posted on the property on March 30th, 2021.
Were there any submissions supporting or opposing the application?
There were none received for this application.
So we will go to the planner's report. Philip? You're muted, Philip.
I know I'm muted. My computer is telling me. Okay, so this application is to sever the property known as 5270-5278 Nauvoo into 3 lots. So there is an approved site plan for construction of 3 commercial buildings on the subject land. The new township office is one of these new buildings. In terms of recommendations, planning recommends that the committee approve consent application B-03-2021, subject to the following conditions. So the first 4 conditions are standard conditions that apply to any consent. 1, that a copy of a deed and reference plan be submitted for registration. There's a deed stamping fee of $250 paid to the township. That all conditions be fulfilled within 1 year of notice of decision of this consent. And the other standard condition is the applicants enter into an agreement with the Township of Warwick for the apportionment of drainage assessments on the involved properties. And then conditions 5 and 6 are additional ones for this specific application. And it is that the site plan agreement that is registered on the current title be carried over to the title to the new lots. And the 6th one is a parking and access joint use and maintenance agreement must be signed and registered on title for all 3 lots. As the parking behind the buildings is for all 3 commercial buildings. So in terms of recommendations, the land itself is located in the central commercial area of Watford, and the proposed lots comply with the township zoning bylaw and official plan. In terms of bit of history on the site, a site plan application was approved by council in September of last year and was registered on title in February of this year. The proposed severances will aid in the redevelopment of the site and provide individual ownership to the new development buildings. So in, I believe it was the summer of 2020, there were 4 old commercial properties or buildings on the site that were demolished, and to make room for the new proposed construction, which is currently underway for the new, so 4 were demolished and then 3 have been built. So under the provincial policy statement, settlement areas shall be a focus of growth and development. Section 1.1.3.2 states that land use patterns within settlement areas shall be based on a range of uses and opportunities for intensification and redevelopment. The future use of the lands for commercial development is classed as redevelopment in the area. So the old buildings sat vacant and underutilized for a number of years, and the new buildings under construction will result in the creation of new uses and development on the land. So under the township's official plan, the property is designated commercial, and the intent of the commercial area is to be a focal point of the community and a health business center, and uses permitted within this area to serve the day-to-day needs of the community. Development within the commercial area may group commercial uses under individual ownership, which is the intent of this severance. In terms of the zoning bylaw, the land's located within the commercial 1 zone. The zoning bylaw doesn't contain any limits on sizes within C1 zone and permits up to 100% site coverage. So as such, the proposed lots in development under construction comply with development standards in the C1 zone. And then in terms of municipal services and roads, so the property or the lots will have access to Front Street and Huron Street. However, the property in the middle wouldn't necessarily have access or parking lot access. So the rear parking lot is designed to handle parking for all 3 commercial properties, and therefore joint use and access agreement must be signed and registered on title. And that's pretty much the report and then the site plan location. So.
Okay, thank you, Philip. See, applicant have anything he wants to add? Or just say,
No,
you're fine with it, Frank?
yep.
I don't believe there's anybody from the public here. Does anybody have anything they want to ask or?
I did, but I think Philip answered that question. It was just about parking and the parking lots. If it's 3 separate lots and let's say I purchased the middle one or somebody purchased the middle one, it's just access. But Philip said there has to be an agreement signed for obviously winter maintenance and parking allowable. So that was my concern from the beginning, but Philip answered that question. Thank you, Philip.
Any of the other
Yeah,
members? Okay, John, go ahead.
I had a question there, Jerry. I just, I should know the answer to this, but how many parking spots are back there?
I think there's 38, I believe.
Oh,
It
okay.
wasn't working like that before.
Okay.
Is
Thanks.
that for regular cars or farm trucks that are in rural Ontario?
We made them country size.
Okay, perfect,
Yeah.
Good.
perfect.
One smart car spot.
Just
On,
sandwiches.
The recommendations on condition number 4, do we need to sign an agreement with that for the drainage assessment? Because in Watford, we really don't assess each property a drainage. Or do we? Does that
Amanda?
need to be there?
Phil, did you want me to answer that?
Yes, please.
Yes, actually, Councillor Westgate, you're correct. Actually, I think that condition item 4 could be removed because you're right. We don't have drainage assessment in the same way in the urban area, and I didn't catch that either when I reviewed the draft conditions. So thank you. Yes, it could be removed.
There any other committee members want to ask anything? Okay. As there are no further questions, the committee hereby closes this portion of the meeting. Notice of the decision will be mailed out within 10 days from the date of the committee's decision. The appeal period is 20 days after the date of the decision is mailed. After that date, if there is no appeals filed, then the application becomes final and the property owner will be sent a notice. Thanks for attending. So I guess we can go on and make our decision now unless I just call on, are you making the motion for?
Yes, Jerry, I'll move
To accept
to accept, yes.
or approve? Need a
Oh,
seconder?
oh.
Dave,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Just raise your hand. Thank you, that was easy. We'll have to wait a few minutes for the next one.
3 minutes.
Just Councillor Westgate, if I can confirm with our mover, would it be okay to remove condition 4? So approved with the removal of condition 4 based on the conversation?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Thank you. Noted. No problem.
I guess a further point of order for our next one. If I'm declaring because in consult with the integrity commissioner, I've got to declare a conflict of interest with that one. So just do that in writing to you, Amanda, and then do I hang back in the meeting, just shut the camera off, or how would we like to proceed with that?
Great question, Councillor Mitchell. So yes, we will require notice in writing and an email is fine, just so we can keep it for our register. And also, I would suggest that either you can leave the meeting or if you would like to listen without influencing, mute and video would be appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I also had a question. So I wasn't, not that it mattered, but I wasn't aware that we'd actually be voting with members of the public there for the next one for Northbrook. Will we be voting with them present? I don't know what she's normally done.
Yes, so that's a great
You would,
question,
okay.
John. And over the years, our practice has evolved as we've become more familiar and understanding of the Municipal Act and the requirement to have open meetings. So all decisions of this committee are public and can be made in the presence of the applicant.
Okay,
We
no,
usually
that's great.
vote after the meeting unless we need more information. And we can go back and get more information and then meet again to vote. So if you decide you need more information to make a vote,
Hey, Frank.
see you,
You're
Frank.
free, Frank. Thanks.
Then,
No, the reason that I asked was because I was just, oh, go ahead, Jerry.
no, go ahead. That's only all I need.
The reason I asked was I was just kind of looking over my notes from the training and Ken, I believe it was Ken Melanson, however you say his name, said, there was no need to vote with members of the public present. Now, I'm not going to say that I wrote down exactly what he said, but that's what the gist of it I thought he said. Not that, I don't have a problem voting either, but I thought that's what he said, but I could have written it down wrong. Doesn't matter.
Well, that's an interesting item to point out, John. So let me take that comment and I will contact Ken and follow up with him on the process for voting for Committee of Adjustment. And if we've made an error in our procedures, we absolutely will let the committee know and advise accordingly. But we will get that answer for you.
I do recall him saying that as well.
Well, it's, yeah, yeah, it's, yeah, I don't know.
And that is the way we used to do it.
Right.
Geez, if I've been steering you wrong all these years, I feel bad. So let me look into it and we'll get back to you guys. Sorry about that. And thank you for picking up on that.
Okay, we can go on with our second application. Take notice that application has been made by Northbrook Limited owners of Concession 5, South Egremont Road, Plot 19, RP 25R3343, Parts 2 and 4, Lot 1, and Concession 5, South Egremont Road, parts of Lot 19, RP 25R3343, Parts 1 and 3, Lot 2, municipally known as 521 Victoria Street, Township of Warwick, to adjust the property line between the two lots and sever the lots into 4 residential lots. And further take notice that the Land Division Committee for the Township of Warwick has appointed Tuesday, May 4th, 2021 at 5:45 p.m. for the purpose of a public hearing into the matter. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, the meeting will be held electronically by Zoom teleconference. Will the secretary read the dates and places of notice of public meeting?
Notices were sent by regular mail and posted on the property on March 30th, 2021.
Were there any letters of submission supporting or opposing the application?
There were none received for this application.
Can we have the planner's report?
Sure. Thank you. So this application is to sever the 2 lots at 521 Victoria into 4 lots, and then adjust the middle boundary so the lots meet regulations. So the applicant plans to construct a 4-unit townhouse across the 4 lots. So in terms of recommendations, the planner recommends that the committee approve consent application B-03 of 2021, subject to the following conditions: that 1, a copy of the deed and reference plan be submitted for registration. There's the deed stamping fee of $250 paid to the Township of Warwick. 3, that all conditions be fulfilled within 1 year of notice of decision. And then this one also includes the drainage report, apportionment of drainage assessments on the involved properties, which would be required in this case since there's no, it's lacking storm sewer in particular. So in terms of recommendations, the subject property is located within established residential neighborhood, is close to Nauvoo Road, and will be compatible with the surrounding neighborhood. And the proposed development remains compact and makes the efficient use of the land. So in terms of previous direction, a rezoning application for this site was approved by council in April of this year. And that application rezoned the lands to a site-specific residential 3 zone, so site-specific zone 2, for the purposes of a townhouse complex across the subject lands. So in terms of location, the subject site is located on Victoria Street, just behind the St. Andrew's Church. It's located in a low-density residential neighborhood and is currently undeveloped. So in terms of analysis, the intent of, under the provincial policy statements, is that the interest of all communities to use land and resources wisely and promote efficient development patterns. So the compact nature of the development will make efficient use of the land, using as much as land as possible. Section 1.1.1 of the policy statement states that healthy and livable and safe communities are sustained by accommodating an appropriate, affordable, and market-based range and mix of residential types while avoiding development and land use patterns which may cause environmental or public health and safety concerns. So under the PPS, the policy statements, municipalities encourage, permit, and facilitate a range of housing options, including new development such as residential intensification to respond to current and future needs. So residential Residential intensification includes development that results in a net increase in residential units or accommodation through development of vacant or underutilized lots in developed areas, which is the intent of this severance. So in terms of the county official plan, the subject site is in the settlement boundary area and is designated urban area. So it's in the settlement boundary of Watford and urban areas. So urban areas are generally encouraged to have a mix of housing forms, services, and institutional and recreational facilities to enable citizens to live, work, and play in their communities. The proposed severances are supported by the policies of the county official plan. In terms of the township's official plan, the proposed 4-unit townhouse complex is considered a medium density dwelling. So section 3.1.2 states medium density dwellings may be permitted up to a maximum of 35 units per residential hectare. The subject site is 0.16 hectares and proposed to have 4 units, which results in a density of approximately 25 units per hectare. So the reason why I bring up the medium density is there are specific considerations for development of medium density dwellings. One, they should be located in proximity to an arterial road, in this case Nauvoo, and should be buffered from abutting low density residential development. In addition, all proposals for medium density dwelling are subject to site plan control and must complete the site plan application process. And at this time, this is when we'll look at buffering and screening to make sure the development fits into the neighborhood. In terms of the zoning bylaw, the intended use of the new lots is for townhouse or street townhouse development, which is permitted under the site-specific residential 3 zone. In addition, the lots within the residential 3 zones must have lot frontage of 6 meters and a minimum lot frontage of 6 meters and a lot size of 300 square meters. So the proposed lots will have lot widths of between 9.1 to 10.9 meters and sizes between 364 to 438. So they do comply with minimum standards within the residential 3 zone. In terms of municipal services, there are municipal services in the area, water and sewer in particular in Victoria. They will need to extend the stormwater in the area, which will be covered through the detailed servicing plan and grading plan as part of the site plan application. And that's a summary of my report.
Thank you, Philip. Does the applicant want to say anything about the report? Jeff?
I don't really have anything to add to what Phil has said. To get going forward on this project after this process and the site plan. is approved.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. There was somebody from the public here. Do they want to say anything?
They were here, Councillor Westgate, but they seem to have left. I am watching, but they're not requesting back to join. So if they do, I will let them in. But they're
Okay,
not
I just
there right
noticed
now.
they were there. Have any of the committee got questions they would like to propose? John? Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Jeff, it's John Ruth. I was just wondering, I know it's been discussed before, but were these places going to be definitely for rent, or would some be for sale?
Our plan is to not rent these. We're looking to sell these as
Okay.
individual units. Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing I just was wondering, I don't know if it's in our realm to bring this up, but I wondered about fencing. You know, have you thought about that at all, or is that not part of your plan?
We have
I don't even know if we're allowed to bring this up. I'm a
sure.
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
We're working on that with our site plan, and we want to, you know, you want to fit in with the neighborhood, and ideally, I'd like to see something green, you know, some kind of hedge or cedar hedge or some kind of something planted that would be pleasing to the neighborhood, but subject to site plan approval, of course.
Okay. I guess I'd ask Philip, is that something that normally the county or the local municipality enforces in one way or another, or is that usually left up to the owner?
In this case, since it's going through the site plan process, there are requirements under the official plan that buffering and screening is required. So we'll deal with that at the site plan stage. The official plan doesn't state it has to be fences or it has to be a hedge. That'd be a discussion we'd have with the applicant during that site plan review. So it's not necessarily within the scope of the committee to deal with screening. That's more at a site plan stage.
Does any of the other committee members want to ask questions?
I have none.
The only question I had was for the screening too. Especially on the east side there, that lot line's awful close to the house. I would hope we could, I don't know whether we can say that it needs to be a fence, a wooden fence along that side or not. Can we add that as a condition, Philip?
Not on this application, because this is for severance. So this is to create the lot. It could be, yeah, no, we can't add that as a condition because we couldn't enforce that condition as part of the registration of the plan. So because he may not, like the land may not be developed for 10 years or 12 years, but he's still got that 1 year in which to register the severance. So if we say you have to do a 6-foot wood fence along the side, if the building doesn't get put up until, let's say, 2 years down the road, his expiry, the 1 year condition of the 1 year expiry is gone at that point.
So we can't even suggest it be put in the site plan for sure.
It wouldn't be a condition. It could be a recommendation from the committee that some sort of adequate screening on both sides can be covered through the site plan process. So it's more of a, not a condition, but encouragement from the committee that the applicant look at screening on the site.
Yeah, I'm just thinking on the one side. I didn't know how the rest of the members felt about that. Added it as a recommendation.
Well, I guess where I'm coming from, I just want to address Jeff, and I guess I'm going by 30 plus years of being a landlord, and that's the reason I asked the question whether you're going to rent or sell, because if those units are sold, then you'll have pride of ownership. But if they were to be rented, then I would sure like to see a fence put up, because my experience has been a good fence on a rental property makes for happy neighbors, and that's where I was coming from.
Okay.
There is requirement, just to expand, there is a requirement under the official plan that would deal with buffering. So it does say development within medium density development, which is what this proposal is, has to be buffered, sorry, I'll get the exact. So the site should be buffered from abutment low density residential development. So it is a specific requirement under the official plan that buffering be put in place. So we'll deal with that during the site plan process. So, and the other condition is development shall be designed so it is compatible with surrounding development. So we can do also like some sort of fencing or screening, hedge through there during the site plan process.
Okay, thank you, Philip. There's no further questions? As there are no further questions, the committee hereby closes this portion of the meeting. Notice of the decision will be mailed out within 10 days from the date of the committee's decision. The appeal period is 20 days after the date of the decision is mailed. After that date, if there are no appeals filed, then the application becomes final and the property owner will be sent a notice. Thanks everyone for attending. And that closes that part of the meeting. So now we'll ask for a resolution. We need a resolution. Somebody want to move it?
I move we accept it as is with the recommendations.
Thank you, Dave. Seconder?
I'll second it.
Okay, thanks, John. All in favor? So that passes. I guess that ends that part of the meeting. Is there any other business anybody wants to discuss while we're here? The signing, Heather, did you want to talk about that?
So I sent you all an email earlier today that we're gonna have to arrange something for you to sign the decision so we can send them out. I'm hoping to send them out by the end of the week. So if you can either email me or call or text my cell that I sent you, then we can arrange something to get them signed.
You have seizures and beer? Just
Maybe.
kidding.
What time would it be ready to sign if we?
I'm gonna have to figure out how to word the recommendation, so I'll have to
Okay.
look at that, but by tomorrow afternoon, I should be ready to get them
All
signed.
right, well, can you send us out something when it's ready and?
Yep.
We'll meet to sign it?
Yep, I'll let you know when they're ready, and then you guys can let me know when you can come.
All
Based on the weather, I should be able to get there at some point, Heather.
Okay,
Make it work.
perfect. Like I said, I can do it after hours too if it works better for you guys. Whatever works.
Okay,
If you
I'm-
want, I
I'm
can
working
bring it
home.
in here and people are close to Watford anyway, instead of going out to the hall or to the office. Whatever you want.
Okay. I'll let you know when they're done and then we can go from there.
Okay.
I'm home this week, so I can meet you whenever, Heather.
Okay.
Well, that's good. Adjourn the meeting then.